Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It is Friday the 20th. I know all of you were excited to head into the weekend as I am. We got a lot to talk about today. But guys, listen, sip on your coffee, enjoy the comedy entertainment, and welcome back to the show. So glad to have all of you here with me on Friday. And I have my coffee sitting right here. I just talked about it. What would a morning be like without coffee? I mean, literally, this coffee makes my day work. And if I don't have the right coffee, I start having problems. I start getting annoyed. But anyway, I got my mug right here. It says, happy life. My wife says, you know, obviously, happy wife. So it's happy wife, happy life. So guys, welcome back to the show. We're so excited to have you. Got my coffee here. I got my cigar here, just in case, too, when I get done with my show. But I want to talk about a lot today to dive into. I got my shirt here, Bomberito Sports, where I trained at for the NFL as well. Feel a little good here, dressed down Friday. Kind of feel my comfort zone. A lot of people get on here, and including myself, I try to put on something nice every day, and I kind of like that. Put on a dress shirt, a button-up, a sport coat. But I got to tell you, sitting here now, got a new setup going, got my earpiece in, I can hear a lot better. And more importantly, I feel comfortable in my own shoes, in my own studio. But let's move up right now. Let's talk about the first conversation and topic. Is Caleb Williams is entering the NFL draft without an agent? People are up in arms going, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I kind of feel excited about it, and I kind of feel it's not too smart. But I got to tell you, Caleb Williams, potentially, you know, he's supposed to go first pick in the draft. And so a lot of people are like, I wouldn't go into the NFL without an agent. You need an attorney. You need someone to watch what you're doing, check all those, you know, pieces of material in there, dot those I's, cross those T's, get you the money, get you the contract. And that's true. It's true. But the question is, if he goes first round, he's getting paid all the money anyway. A lot of people are like, you don't need an agent. Lamar Jackson did that, turned out pretty well. But I got to tell you, if I'm giving advice to someone, I'm heading to the NFL draft, I'm getting an agent. I think it's important. They know what they're doing. They've been there. They've done that. They understand the rules and regulations. There's not going to be any hiccups. There's going to be smooth transitions. You get in your money. You don't got to worry about that. And I believe you get paid, and then you pay your agent, which is going to be good. But obviously people are talking about the conversation of where is he going to go? And it's leading into, obviously, the Bears. He said at first his camp, people on his team, it leaked out that they didn't want him to go to the Bears because they don't believe that they develop quarterbacks properly. But it kind of spun out a little bit more. And he said, look, I didn't say that, even though his team didn't deny it. Caleb Williams said, it wasn't me, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, if he goes there, Justin Fields is not going to stay, and he's going to head out. And we talk about this, possibly the Steelers, the Falcons, or maybe somewhere else. But the main topic in conversation is just simply this. Would you enter the NFL draft? Remember, these guys are usually 18 years old, 19 years old, right? They get to college, they play a few years, and then when they graduate, if they leave early, 3 years out, they're 21, some 22. And then now you enter the draft, you're about 22 years old typically, 22, maybe 23, right? Should you have an agent? And Lamar Jackson kind of put it out there and said, I didn't need an agent. I went out there and got it done, no problems, and people were salty about it. People talked about it a lot. I'm sure the big-time agents in the world are like, Lamar Jackson, use me. I'm the man. I'm going to get you all the money anyway. I'll get you paid, maybe even get you more money. It worked out for Lamar Jackson. But is it smart for Caleb Williams to go down that track from USC to go without someone to represent him, right? I got to tell you, if it's me, I'm looking at this going, I need someone to represent me in the best possible way and get this done, even if you think you're the first pick and getting guaranteed money, $30 million, $40 million. You think you're getting a lot of money. You might not be. I think it's important to have someone communicating for you, but at the end of the day, the man's doing what he does, and that's just that. But so anyway, as I'm looking in here in the chat, I appreciate all of you, and I'm saying good morning to all of you here that are jumping here early in the morning with me. It's Friday, so look, I appreciate everybody getting on here in the morning at 10 o'clock, and I hope that 10 o'clock works for you. Some people are like, hey, I'm at work right now. I'm tuning in. I'm on my phone. I'm tuning in. I'm working from home. I'm tuning in. I greatly appreciate you. So good morning to everyone. And anyone that comments on here, I always take a screenshot at the end of the day to see who's in here because I have something I'm going to do special for everybody. But let's take a look. Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Tracy. Howard, good morning. Candy, good morning. As we go down, Brittany, good morning. Nerdy Zach, good morning. I think everybody in here that communicates, I really appreciate you. And everyone that's on here, hit the like button, and I'm so glad that you have subscribed. So yeah, anyway, long story short, I'm just saying, Caleb Williams, excellent quarterback, great opportunity. He's going to go first round. Is he going to go first pick? Probably. He might be first, second quarterback taken. But it's just like, look, I'm just giving you my honest opinion, my honest advice. You're heading into a system which is unknown territory. A lot of friends have been to the NFL, obviously. you heading into there as a senior, you leave college, you go in. Sometimes you're a junior, you head in, you go into the NFL draft. You might need someone to watch your back, someone that knows what they're doing, someone that understands the process a little more than you, a little bit more than your mother and father, a little bit more than your best friends. And obviously, if you go to a big program like USC, you have a lot of friends you can call on the phone and say, hey, you went through the process. What would you do? And all of them are going to say, I have an agent. Because 99.9% of players in the NFL draft heading into the NFL have an agent, especially if you're talking about this big time money. So again, I'm just saying in general, great player. Will he go the first quarterback taken to Chicago Bears? We'll be seeing pretty soon. We're going to cover all the live coverage and footage of the NFL draft and what happens. Hopefully I can get people there, boots on the ground, to be some entertainment there as people announce first pick, second pick, third pick. And Caleb Williams has an opportunity, but he better be careful not heading in there with an agent. Let's move on to a conversation. Everybody, if you're like me and you play video games growing up, especially NCAA football, and I know guys in the chat right now, you know exactly what that is. Girls in the chat, not sure if you know. I can see in here. But NCAA football was a game we played for a long time. They have Madden, right? They got all the pro games. But NCAA football is coming back, right? And it's going to be for 2025. So when they announced this, I was like, oh, I'm excited about this. I'm excited they're coming back. And it could have hit us with 2024, would have been pretty cool, right? They told us in 2023, the new game's coming out. So everyone got excited. 2024, baby. Boom. No, it's not 2024, it's 2025. But here's the conversation. Anybody that played college football, including myself, if you're in the video game and you saw yourself in the game, like, that's cool. First and foremost, you're young. So what do? You put the game on and you just play. You put yourself in the game. You put yourself all the positions. You always go to yourself and play it because it's fun. It's interesting. It's entertaining, right? Your buddies all do the same thing. And then it's like, there was no money to be made. Let me give you any money. And then all of a sudden, years later, they made this announcement where you can file some kind of pending suit or have an attorney file for you, and you can make like up to $1,500 or $2,000 or something for the duration if you were in the games. So EA Sports, if you're watching this right now, EA Sports is coming out with 2025. Now, they are going to pay $600 to any NCAA player that opts to be in the video game. So if you're in the game, right, you're in the game, obviously you opt, you sign the contract agreement that you're in there, you're going to be in the game, great. They give you $600. Is that enough money for EA Sports? They're going to make, EA Sports hasn't launched an NCAA football game in forever. The amount of money they're going to make on this is going to be phenomenal. I mean, you're talking people are ready. I'm ready to buy the game now. I've been ready for years, and they told me it's 2025. People will put in right now, if you can pay and pre-order that game and be one of the first people to get it, people will pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a PlayStation or an Xbox game, right? So it's kind of like, are they giving away enough money to people? $600 for the player to be in the duration of lifetime for 2025 football game? Look, it's better than nothing, right? It's better than nothing. And I'm taking a look at here right now. Nerdy Zach, what do you say? I am my own agent, but I play cornhole, not the NFL. I just saw that message on there. Nerdy Zach's at home playing cornhole, but he's his own agent. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you being in here today live. But again, I mean, $600, it's a pretty cool concept, though, because people are like, hey, the game's coming back out. Let's get all the people interested. And what does that do? First off, it doesn't mean they're getting a free game. I haven't heard anybody say, hey, we're giving every NCAA player that opts to be in the game a free game. I didn't hear that. I just heard you're going to get $600 if you decide to sign off and opt that you're in the game. But what it does is everybody in college football is going to be playing this. They played it for years, and now that it's back, this will be the topic of conversation. I can't wait for this thing to launch, and I'm hoping that they send us a game, a free copy that I can put up here. And look, I don't care. I'll pay for it if I can get it early in advance, can get it up and talk about it on here live. Would be really, really cool because I'm really, really excited for that game to come out. Well, let's move forward here because I got a question for you. Should the Dolphins trade Jaylen Waddle? Now, obviously, people are like, the Dolphins were stacked this season. They had Tua, they had Tyreek Hill, they had a great running game as well. The defense played tough with Christian Wilkins leading the inside the box. Obviously the McDaniels, a little bit of spunky type head coach. And it's like, should they trade Jaylen Waddle? And people keep talking about it. Should they trade him? Should they trade him? It's in the media. It's in the news. It's all through Miami. And people are talking about Tua and should he be there? But really the conversation comes down to, what does that dynamic look like? What's the dynamic look like? And I got to tell you something. Tyreek Hill stood up for him right away and he said, look, no, don't trade my boy. He plays better than me at this time of the year. He claimed that Jaylen Waddle is playing better than him at the appropriate time. So in that current amount of years that he's in the National Football League, Tyreek Hill thinks that Jaylen Waddle is ahead of him. And I don't think really it's about how good Jaylen Waddle is. I think the problem that the Dolphins have is they have a big payout, right? They got salary caps. They got things going on. They got some concerns. They got some problems. They got to make some moves. They got to make a decision on Tua still. Are they going to extend his contract for the long term? Are they going to just keep him for one more year? And I talk about this a lot because this is a big point conversation, but realistically, should they trade Jaylen Waddle? He was in, then he was injured, he was out a little bit, then he came back. To win in the NFL right now and get to the playoffs is one thing. Dolphins have done that. To get to the Super Bowl, you need people that are healthy. You need reliable players, right? The injuries are crazy. And so when Tyreek Hill goes down, you got Jaylen Waddle. Jaylen Waddle goes down, you got Tyreek Hill. I think it's important. Only the Chiefs are one of the rare teams in National Football League that can go to the NFL, go to the playoffs after, the season, go to the postseason, the playoffs, beat all the teams, then get to the Super Bowl and win without a receiver. And yeah, they had a receiver, but they didn't have a star. They didn't have a Jaylen Waddle. They didn't have a Tyreek Hill, right? They didn't have players like that. They didn't have Deebo Samuel, right? These star talented athletes, they weren't available. So if you take a look at this, for the Miami Dolphins, this is my opinion, for the Miami Dolphins to get next season through the playoffs and even have a chance at the Super Bowl, they need Jaylen Waddle and they need Tyreek Hill. If they get rid of Jaylen Waddle and they just have Tyreek Hill running around, they're still going to look for another receiver. The problem is going to be the amount of money they have to spend to keep all these players on the roster. And I got to tell you, Tua needs this guy. Tua needs more talent. He needs to continue building that roster because he can't scramble. He can't get hit. The concussions, being unconscious, he can't scramble. He has to go back and be able to dump the ball off to random receivers. And looking around, when you got Tyreek Hill on one side and you got Jaylen Waddle on the other side, it feels pretty damn good that you know you are comfortable. When in doubt, you could dump a 5-yard pass and Tyreek Hill can spring for 50 to 60 to 70 yards. And Jaylen Waddle is a beast. They need him. Can they handle financially? That's the problem. Can the Miami Dolphins handle financially the roster? Can they continue to build the organization? Can they win in the regular season and beat teams that are above 500? Right? It's like last season, people are like, Dolphins have a good record. Who have they beat? Not many good teams. So you look at it and you go, wow, they're stacked. Great receivers. 2 at the quarterback position. They have a pretty damn good defense and a great running game, and they barely beat teams that have a winning record. That's a problem. So they got to do better. I think they got to keep Jaylen Waddle, find the best way to keep him. And if not, they better trade for a first-round pick and get someone, which is something they could be doing if you keep your eyes open and watch. But let's move forward to Jake Paul and Tommy Fury. Now, obviously, the rematch is coming. They're talking about them fighting again. If you watch the fight, a lot of people are like, oh, Jake Paul won, Tommy Fury won. By watching that fight and watching toward the end of it, it was like, at the very least, it's a draw. Tommy Fury didn't win the fight. I mean, if you watch punch for a punch, a couple punches here and there, yeah, maybe you landed a couple more. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, it was a pretty even bout. And this fight is going to be very interesting, not just because the boxing match. They're starting to say right now that Tommy Fury and Jake Paul are going to box. If, in fact, Jake Paul wins, they're going to fight in the MMA. So I've been saying this for a long time. The big moneymaker, the big-time moneymaker for these guys is going to be in MMA. Why? Because the world wants to see Jake Paul get knocked out. And I got news for people. The guy's training hard. I don't know, Tommy Fury's, opportunity in the cage, to fight in MMA, to fight in the UFC, that kind of fighting. But I can tell you this right now. I think Jake Paul comes from like a little bit of a rougher segment of life. Even though Tommy Fury has some experience with his family and all that, I just think Jake Paul comes from a rougher type of background. Yeah, he's a YouTuber, but his lifestyle wasn't the easiest lifestyle growing up like a prince, out there in another country. He had some things to do and some fighting to do and growing up, and his brother, Logan Paul, is also a tough fighter and someone he grew up probably fighting and slap boxing and wrestling with, and Jake Paul was a wrestler. I think this would be an excellent thing to see. If Jake Paul steps into MMA and steps into the cage, I think he will make the most money he's ever made in his life, especially for pay-per-views, because people simply want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. That's simply it. I don't know why. I don't get it. I think Jake Paul's doing a lot for fighters. I think he's doing a lot for the UFC, pushing for them to get healthcare. He's doing a lot for boxing. And I'm not saying Jake Paul's a great fighter. I'm not saying that he's the best fighter that's out there. I'm not even claiming any of that. I'm just saying the man is getting people paid. And now, if Strickland wants to fight him too, or he called Strickland out, it's like, if I'm in the UFC, if I'm in boxing, I am 150% fighting Jake Paul. Right now, if Jake Paul says, I want to fight you, I'm fighting him tomorrow. I don't want any training. I don't want anything to talk about. I don't even need an agent either. I just want to show up, pay-per-view, and fight. That's it. I don't care what anybody says. You don't got to talk about it. You don't got to pull my leg. You don't got to twist my hand. I'm fighting tomorrow. Why? It's pay-per-view. We're getting paid tomorrow. That's it. I can fight. He can fight. It's time to fight. That's it. A lot of people are questioning it. I don't know. And that, what are you I don't knowing about? You're in the UFC. Strickland's in the UFC. You're not making any money. You're fighting for a living, and your entire net worth is about $1 million. People walk around here selling real estate. Girls get the real estate license. Guys get the real estate license within, 3 months. They sell a couple properties here in Miami. They're already passing you. So it's like, why on earth would you not take that fight? If it's me, I'm taking that fight 100%. And now, Jake Paul, Tommy Fury. If Jake Paul beats Tommy Fury, they go into the cage. That's what people want to see. And I'm checking out right now to see. Let me see. Yeah, I agree. Devon, I agree. Let's watch him fight in a cage fight. Let's see. Nerdy Zach said, get another team. Tracy's a diehard Eagles fan. I'm just reading the chat right now, checking it out, see what people were saying. But let's move on to a conversation we have here with Matt Araiza. Now, if you guys saw this, obviously last year, this was a conversation. Matt Araiza had a sexual assault charge, right? He gets a sexual assault charge. A girl, right, 17 years old, says that Matt Araiza led her into a room and the girl got gang raped. Now, here's the thing. This is pretty nuts, right? Because if it's true, it's a problem. It's a major problem if that's true. So all of a sudden, the news comes out, right? And they say, oh no, the case was dropped. It wasn't him. He didn't do it. He didn't get a chance to play last season. Matt Araiza didn't even get a chance to play last season because of all these allegations. He was released by the Bills. Now he just signed with the Chiefs, which is pretty crazy, right? Released by the Bills due to all this crap. And the girl comes out and goes, oh, no. Yeah, it wasn't him. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how freaking nuts that is? Listen, you get to the highest part of your life. And I'm not saying that, all girls do this or that it's not, that this doesn't happen. So people should be careful. I'm just saying this. This girl randomly comes out and then says, oh, no, it wasn't him. If it wasn't him, this man's whole life just got ruined. Literally. He has all this stuff on the internet now. People are looking into it going, oh, this guy's a bad guy, yada, yada, yada. And then you're like, well, no, we're dropping the case now. Actually, quote unquote, he didn't do it. Wasn't him. And it's like, was it a money situation that helped? That was the big deal? Was that what helped drop the case? No, that wasn't the deal. She admitted, no, it wasn't the right person. He didn't lead her in there. Now his whole life is up in shambles. Every time he dates somebody, when he gets married, when he has kids, oh, Matt Araiza, oh, that's your dad. Oh, he was the guy that was involved in the gang rape with the young, come on, right? And now the case is dropped, but now he's suing the attorney, apparently, that was representing the young girl. And so, I'm just trying to get some opinions, some idea. I mean, what on earth do you do now, right? Now you show up, you sign with the Kansas City Chiefs to be their kicker. Everybody still looks at you and goes, oh, you're the guy that was involved in that. I mean, literally, even if he didn't do it, his hands are clean, wasn't him, everybody's going to talk about that. Why? Because it's all over the news, all over the media. It's an interesting topic. People are talking about it. And now it's, oh, it wasn't true. It's dropped. Sorry about that. Sorry about that doesn't cut it. Sorry about that doesn't cut it. I get on here, if I was to make a podcast, start talking about it every day and clean my hands, let people know this is BS. I mean, literally, that's something he has to live with for the rest of his life. Very, 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 very concerning. But hey, listen, we got a topic we got to bring up right now. The main thing that we do every day as we close out, and I appreciate all of you being on here with me. But here we go. The quote of the day for everybody that's in here right now: just be yourself. You know why it's so much better to be yourself? Because you don't have to change anything. You don't have to put on a front. You don't got to be anybody. You don't got to show up and try to pretend to be somebody else. You can show up kind of like what I did today. Put my sports shirt on. This is what I'm used to wearing, right? Like athletic gear. I'm used to wearing different designs of sports attire, right? All through college, all through high school. You got your sweatpants on. You got your hoodie on. You got your sports. You feel good, right? Be yourself in conversation. Don't tell lies because you don't have to worry about it anymore. If someone asks you a question, you got the same answer because you don't have to make anything up. It's pretty damn straightforward and straight truthful, but just be yourself. It feels so good for me to come on here and talk sports and entertainment because this is what I like talking about all day long anyway, right? This is what I like to do all day anyway. And now also, I got my new setup here. I got my cigar and it's every day. Why? Because I get done with my show, I get it out, I got my cigar here. I hope YouTube doesn't block me out. But I enjoy sitting outside, having conversation, going over my next topics. My cousin also joins me a lot of the time. I appreciate it. And we sit there and we go over the next topics for the day because it makes my life better. I feel good, right? Just be yourself and enjoy the day. And that's the topic for today. Today, whatever you're doing this morning when you're getting to the office, right? You're driving in your car. Enjoy your day. Just be yourself. Have fun. And life will be 1,000 times better. And I appreciate all of you that jump on with me and join every day as we continue our live sessions and expand. We have a MMA fighter that will be joining us next week, actually a bare knuckle fighter. We've been trying to schedule him for a long time. I was obviously a busy person. We're going to get him on here. We're going to talk about his fight leading up to it. Got some highlights to go over too, but I got to tell you something. It's Friday. I hope all of you are up and at it and enjoying your day, and we're going to get some comedy entertainment going. We got another co-host that's going to be coming back on the show and enjoying and laughing and bringing you some funny, interesting conversations, some controversial topics, and everything of that nature. But I appreciate all of you joining me every single day as we continue to expand our network. I will see you guys bright and early on Monday, 10 o'clock. Until next time.